Aquarius, hello and welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started. It's for the week of Sunday, October 27th through to the 3rd of November. And for you guys, we have the sun moving from 4 degrees. This is your signature. Whoa. To start us out, we got the Three of Wands. So I love how this is working out. On the 3rd of November, when the week ends, we're going to have the sun at 11 degrees Scorpio, and Pluto's making its way back into your sign. So you guys might start to feel some of those familiar influences of the boundaries of sex, death, transformation, and rebirth. However, it's related to you and your identity. So it maybe you've been in relationships that worked out or didn't. Maybe you've been in a marriage or you're in a marriage and there is a lot of change going on. And it might be uncomfortable change because it's growth. With the Three of Wands, it took me a while, but I realized that this woman has her 2 children and they're making paintings on the wall. They are making cave wall paintings, and we see a figure that looks a lot like Black Moon Lilith would be. We have some gazelle, leopards, elephants, giraffes, and these happy kids and a woman in red, fiery red that matches my nails. So you guys have your inner fire joined maybe with a few people, maybe a select few friends. Ooh, 10 of Cups, it's giving emotional fulfillment. And maybe this, because I started out with that sex, death, transformation, rebirth, maybe because you guys are allowing for yourself to be in the energy of trusted companions, people who you love. A lot of those past woes, pains, the separation, they're being cleansed. You guys are doing the work to cleanse your wounding so that you have the joy that you were seeking. You're in the vibration of love that maybe you want in your life again, but you're learning new ways to manage it because, you know, if your friends are like, you know, your chosen people and something comes up, we tend to be able to practice those emotions that maybe we haven't learned with our emotional intelligence to cultivate for a partner, a sacred other. Whereas with a friend, it's like, oh, well, what's going on? Can I bring you some soup? You know, and it's like we learn how to shift. We learn how to pivot more quickly with people who are in our soul group, who are our soul family. And that learning about the Kundalini chakras, when essentially, even when we join with friends, but when we are in an intimate partnership, it's a little different because you're physically in contact, from like a kiss to, you know, intimacy. That blending of chakras could be, you know, you pick up on someone's heart incoherence, or the crown chakra isn't open, and a lot of us have to work through that. One card fell, and it is the 2 of Cups. Yeah, it's speaking to a romantic potential. The moon is going to move from this week from Virgo, so that is you all's 8th house, to Sagittarius, your 11th house. So you will have feelings come up that with Scorpio being your 10th house of career and legacy, and that planet being in your 12th house, you might have like fated meetings or chance encounters with people who they just give you a word. I'm going to pull from the Sacred Symbols Oracle to see more into this energy of like someone could just tell you like, you know, oh, everyone's looking at the double rainbow. If you just go up these stairs, you'll meet someone up there. And it's like, that's somewhere that you don't really go often because of like someone you dated always used to take you there, and you're like, oh, I don't want to run into them. The truth is you won't, because you're in a different place, you're in a different vibration. Yeah, this message card is just saying that someone will come to you with a message this week, and it will be something that's beneficial for maybe a project you're working on. Maybe if you have a business, or you have some sort of artistic creative venture that you're doing for your career. So this is a career goal. You're going to have something come together to where it's like you can come together with people, express your creativity. You can be at play. You can learn those sacred keys to partnership and drawing close. If it's not with someone else, which I think it will be, it'll be with your own cup. You'll be learning what you want to have in your cup when you go to meet someone, because, you know, if you meet someone who's just focused on like driving forward in, you know, their studies or their business, and you are looking for time for getting to know one another, it may not be a compatible time. But there are, you know, ways to bend time and rules of the universe where it's like you can take out 20 minutes and walk with them somewhere. I know Rick Rubin spoke to having walking meetings with people, and it changed his life. It allowed for him to lose this weight that he was never able to lose. But also, it's like when you're on a walk, you encounter all sorts of things, whether it's like nature, animals, passing conversation, locations that you could stop into or not. If you choose to go on a walk with someone and it's like some garden and you just get that small moment to connect, it could set you up to have more intimacy down the line. We don't have to figure it all now. So just take some time. Yeah, follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. And you see that there's someone who's walking on a path. So it's like, as much as we've been programmed to understand romance to be a certain way, whether that's through movies, through culture, through photos. Photos do a lot, especially if you guys like to vision board as to what a romance is. We have to assign our own feelings to it. And for you guys, you've been gaining so much emotional intelligence with Mars and Cancer because this is your 6th house of daily life. You're learning how to work without distortion. You're learning to make adequate use of energy because Aries does rule your 3rd house of communication. And maybe you had a hard time, expressing yourself in your household or with siblings in some way, shape, or form, maybe in school or in an environment early on in life that set you up to kind of have these similar experiences that tapped from all sides. So it's like you are now well-rounded. And at the end of the week, Mars will be at 29 degrees Cancer and the moon will be at 29 degrees Scorpio. So that's exciting. In your career and in your daily life, it might be, you might feel, especially with Neptune at 27 degrees, very, very driven, like very devoted to something that at the start of the week you were kind of unclear on. You weren't, you might be kind of passing through memories and just sort of like, how did it go so like off track? And the truth is it didn't. You needed those experiences. They were likely before your Saturn return, honestly, before you turned 31 or 32, and you had to resolve karma. You had to resolve these feelings that were repetitive thought forms or repetitive experiences relating to your career, to your legacy. And with that planet, with the planet of Pluto in the house of career and legacy, your 12th house Capricorn, we have Mo'o, thoughts that ensnare us. So Cancer got a similar reading about having these like self-depreciating thoughts. And I said that when the North and South nodes switch from Libra and Aries into Pisces and Virgo, we're going to start to remove all of the I want to say like the residue like on the pipes, how there's like a lot of calcium deposits or iron and like rust and things that we just accepted over time to be natural in the ways that we spoke to ourselves, the ways that we viewed and valued our daily life. Those things are going to start to come undone, and our spiritual antenna is going to start to be more clearly defined. The age of Pisces agenda will be coming to a close, and voila, the age of Aquarius, very much so. This 10 of Cups, this emotional fulfillment where everyone's able to come together with their emotions in a state of reverie, peace, emotional outpour, but we have a balance of the chakras. We have a double rainbow. So, people, you see that they're with a waterfall, so there may be going to be more people living in nature, which is, the issue with cities is that they're overpopulated. But we have lots of empty room where, you can't make a phone call to someone. You have to just be like without a pipe or, any sort of luxuries that we have established. So let's go to Venus Day, because you guys have your ruling planet in the sign of Taurus. Friday, the 1st of November. So on that day, Uranus moves to 25 degrees. So that's where the spiritual kick is coming through in your 4th house. You guys are learning how to make sense of, maybe very, I think Taurus is mutable earth. No, they're not. They're fixed earth. Yes. Fixed earth. And you guys might have had things that you've accumulated in your life, but you might be getting a sign that it's time to let go of some things or let go of the things that don't matter. With this Two of Cups, we see that there's just two people with a sweet little bond, some dolphins in the background kissing, and they have some shells, but they don't have much, and that's not very important. It's about, I think, loosening up on the ideas, because it was someone who mentioned to travel light, to pack light whenever you're wanting to change your life. And maybe you guys are going to have to start to like declutter your home or environment, and that will give you a lot of emotional fortitude. Or maybe you're expanding and you have a lot of stuff that you've accumulated in a space, and now you're going to have more space, and it's like an extension of your home, but it's not going to be exactly where you live. So you can move things to where you're not like in sort of like a cave of really cool things that all speak to you, but it's like now you're gaining this luxury of more space, whether that's in nature or whether it's going to be somewhere in a city. It's totally dependent on your taste, where you like to live. But I do feel this sensation of getting out of your normal setting. You see that this is a big open field that might be underwater. I don't know if you guys can manage that. But even with Mo'o, this 29, speaking to the moon and Mars at 29 degrees, these lizards, this Mo'o, they would pose as women and then consume their victims. So it's like not taking the womanly thing, but this like feminine energy of creativity and using our creative powers to create situations and scenarios that are not of a spiritual nature. They're just emotional distortions based on something which went wrong in the past, something that was not heart-centered, and it was a lot more driven on, what can I get out of this situation? How can I come off on top? How can I, make sure that I'm unscathed? But it's like, that doesn't really gel well with where we're going, Aquarius. And I feel that you guys will really start to see how your emotional connections and like your friendships can actually be something that's a quality in your romantic partnership. So I'm going to ask Aquarius that you guys watch your 1st and 7th house reading along with your Venus sign. So look at your chart on astro.com. You could see all of your chart. The house system will change dependent on which chart style you look at. So I advise equal, acknowledging the symmetry of the soul, and Koch, which Koch, which shows you your assignment for this lifetime. If it just so happens to be your 1st and 7th house are small, it's that you need to develop more of your personality and more of your ability to network and work in relationships with people. So the 7th house represents intimate partners, romantic partners, open enemies, even like people who you know that you're not going to be close with, but they're people who you encounter on a daily basis. As well, the ascendant and the descendant are the energy of who we present ourselves to be, and then how we receive that energy back. So that's 1st and 7th house energy, to where maybe you're just starting to see how you live on a day-to-day basis with yourself does shape the energy that comes to you. So clearing that up will give you guys a better sense of what's going on this week, especially regarding your legacy, because it feels like for those of you guys who want to leave behind a family or some sort of creative project, you're getting to the details of how to make this happen in a way that is conducive to your life now as it is, and not into who other people might have made you into in the past, or who people wanted you to be and what they wanted from you. Aquarius, thank you guys so much for tuning into this reading, and until next time, all of my aloha.